Hello and welcome to the concluding session of our Module 5 around music therapy. So in this session, we're going to have a little look at the role of music in our civilization, the role of music in communicating friendship, the role of music in communicating joy, comfort, knowledge, religion, and love. So what I really wanted to express in our final conclusion is how much music has been a part of our lives, our development, our evolution, right from the very starts of our origins as humans. So music has been part of an evolutionary force. So music has been present and important as our brains adapted to thought and evolved. And we have some examples about how music steered the course of civilization. So music has been, throughout civilization, a signifier of friendship and a call to gather, a call to community, and a call to collective experience that brings us together. And we talked about how that wonderful aspect of rhythm can bring us together and align us into a single rhythm. So singing and dancing while marching into battle. So music brought an advantage to an army by synchronizing their movements, individual and group bonds, and their emotions and their intent. There are elements within music like rhythm that make collective tasks much easier to undertake. And music had the effect of altering tensions among those within groups, promoting sympathy, empathy, and affection, again, drawing us together in a commonality. And music was also used to express protest. So we put together some musical examples. We have Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, I've been working on the railroad, Strange Fruit from Billie Holiday, A Change is Gonna Come, Sam Hook, Mississippi Goddam by Nina Simone, Freedom Highway, the Staple Singers, Get Up, Stand Up, Bob Marley, Talking About a Revolution from the wonderful Tracy Chapman. So all these are songs of protest and community and gathering. Music has a very powerful and beautiful way of communicating joy, and as Albert Einstein said, I get the most joy in life out of music. So, as we have been learning, music can harness the chemical response in our bodies when we experience joyful music. So, we've learned that it releases dopamine in very unique ways, triggering our reward system, and we learned about how that reward system was foundational to our very being, and thus altering our brain chemistry and boosting our immune system, boosting our mood. Using music as a form of play and exercise for our brains can bring us great joy. So music can be great fun and be a form of play. And it can motivate our imaginations and promote survival by extending our abstract thinking. Again, we learnt how when we improvise, special parts of our brain light up and other parts of our brain take a backseat and remain quiet and relaxed so that we can have this spontaneous part of our brain emerge. And that's vital for hunter-gathering, finding shelter, etc. So scans now can tell us so much about how our brain works around music, and some of that is definitely around the joy we feel and can feel around listening to, creating music, and experiencing music and sharing music with others. So I have a few songs here which express joy, and I'm sure you have a whole page of examples that you could offer as well. So these are just a few. I Want You Back by Jackson 5, Lovely Day, Don't Stop Me Now, by some of the great bands of our time, Queen, Bill Withers, the Jackson 5, Walking on Sunshine, I Want to Dance with Somebody, Whitney Houston, Hey Ya, Outcast, On Top of the World, Imagine Dragons, and Good as Hell from Lizzo. Music can also bring us great comfort, and again, drawing us back to what we've been learning about music and our interpersonal relations and our ways of relating. So, and those really, really early interactions between our mothers and ourselves, or our caregivers and ourselves. And babies can actually decode the emotion that's expressed within a parent's voice and can recognize the soothing qualities intrinsic within a lullaby. And so lullabies were developed to calm and soothe children and even have the effect of lowering both baby and mother's pulse and heart rate. And songs of comfort can promote feelings of connection and understanding. So we have all the great lullabies that we can think of. And these are just some others outside the sphere of lullabies that I find have brought me comfort in the past. So Somewhere Over the Rainbow, Let It Be, Bridge Over Troubled Water, You've Got a Friend, Imagine by John Lennon, Angel by Sarah McLachlan, and all the traditional lullabies that you might know. So music has also been a way of passing down great knowledge. So the structures found within music, like rhythm, melody, rhyme, accent, help us to create a framework or a mnemonic for imparting knowledge. So they help us really to remember the knowledge and to pass it down through our generations. So we use music as a kind of coding for knowledge and important information. An example of how knowledge has been passed down through song might be that in Jewish culture, the entire Torah was set to music and introduced into Europe from around the 7th century, and that was how it was passed down. So that brings us to music and religion, and music to frame our ceremonies and ritual, music to remind us of proper conduct, music to elevate a level of communal spirituality, and music to encapsulate our hopes and desires and invoke our memories and connection to each other and to religion. And love. So music has been inspired by love since the creation of human nature. I'm sure we can all think of some incredible songs that we love, that we know and love that are inspired by love. Love can be romantic love, but it can also be love for our families and our communities and our love of humanity. So love inspiring our sense of belonging within humanity and within the world, and love bringing us outside of ourselves and into the collective. And these are some songs that I found related to and inspired by love. So Music is Love in Search of a Voice. That was from Leo Tolstoy. All You Need Is Love from the Beatles. What a Wonderful World, Louis Armstrong. I Wish I Knew How by Nina Simone. Heroes, David Bowie. You Got the Love, Candy Satin. Higher Love, Whitney Houston, later covered by Whitney Houston. One by U2, and Where Is the Love? So some of those songs encapsulate romantic love, and some of those about a love of humanity. And here are some of our reading materials around how music shaped our evolution. We have a little task before we leave you, and we so hope you've enjoyed this module. So please do reflect on the importance of music throughout your own lifespan, from childhood to present day. And maybe you could take time to reflect on how music has enhanced your personal development and how you might describe the significance of music in your life. We so hope you've enjoyed Module 5, and we wish you the very best in your further endeavors in your work and teaching. And thank you so much for joining us on this course.